All right, so first recommendation for greasing barbells is a drop cloth of some sort under the bar. It'll catch any excess oil that you put on the bar. If it's just bare rubber, the oil will welt the rubber flooring. That's the best way I can use to describe it, but it welts it, it just kind of ruins it. So cloth or something underneath you. I'm using just old squares of rubber flooring that have gone bad that we have laying around. Otherwise I would have a cloth. So from here, the end of the barbell has a snap ring, and the snap ring pliers are just gonna fit right into the snap ring, and then you're gonna squeeze to loosen it. Now I recommend putting your hand over it. I won't this first one, but I will the next one. Squeeze, and then you just kind of have to give it a little twist, and then it pops out. Now see, that one's got a little bit of grime on it, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of dust. So I'm just gonna take one of my cloths that has a little bit of excess oil on it and just kind of rub that clean. That's another reason why I like to use 3-in-1 oil, just because it does, it'll kind of help clean out grime as well. All right, so from here, I lay the components out in order of removing them, just to keep myself organized for reinstalling them. So from here, we have to get the bar coin off. Now, when you have situations where people are dropping the barbell a lot, this rim can over time bend. If that's the case, it totals the barbell because you can't get this barbell coin off. If that were going to be a problem, then the O-ring would not have come off very easy. So from here, to get that bar ring off, you just give it a little clap on the rack, and then it'll just pop right out. All right, and then same thing, I just kind of wipe any grime off of that, set it aside. Next, there's an internal snap ring, and so I'm gonna use the snap ring pliers again. And so now I'm gonna cover it with my hand, because if I lose the snap ring, it'll fly off in another direction, and I'll have to take 10-15 minutes to find it. So hand over, I'm just gonna squeeze, hand over, pull, and then I've got the second snap ring. That one's an internal component, so it's not too grimy. From here, I can free the collar. So I'm gonna slide it into the rack. And so my hand is gonna be ready to catch the next components, because there are a few. Now, first, there are 2 washers. One is very thin, one is a little thicker. The thin one always faces in. So I'm gonna lay those 2 down. Next is kind of 2 half pieces. Those will lay down, and then there's one that's still in there. Boom. So all the components are off. So from here, I can now free the sleeve completely. Now, I like to give a little bit of a wipe to these threads on the inside of the barbell, just to help get these back on nice and smooth. So some of my rags that have excess grease built up on them, I just give a little bit. You're not having to fight too much here. And then this side, I do the same thing. Now, where this lips in, you gotta kind of get a finger up in there and then just wipe it. And so I'll maybe dab like a drop of 3-in-1 oil, and then just stick that in there, and then just give it a little bit of a scrub, and then that's our excess. So here's the inside of the bar, and honestly, for being 7 years old, this looks great. If this barbell were in poor shape, you'd have a ton of grime, ton of rust build up here. I've certainly seen worse than this. This isn't brand new, but it looks great overall. So what I'm gonna do is just wipe excess grease and grime off, just to get it bare, okay? Anything is gonna disrupt your new oil, okay? So you wanna be sure when you're feeling it, you've got nice and smooth surface. So sometimes, if I feel like I've got a little grit right here towards the end of the collar, I'll take a bar brush, and this one's cool because it flexes around the bar. I'll take a bar brush and just give it a little bit of a gentle scrub, not too rough here, all right? And then a final wipe. Now, I like to go kind of overkill with the grease. So I do kind of 2 layers. First layer, just a thin strip, and then I wipe it with the towel. A lot of that gets wiped off, but it is kind of our base coat, I guess you could call it. And then I'm gonna do my final coat, which I will just smear with my glove just to kind of keep it on there. Now, if you're gonna have any oil drippage, it's gonna be now onto the floor, all right? So collar slides back on, and this is when I am going to spin it a bit just to distribute some of that oil around the whole chamber. I'm gonna push it too far in to expose the tip of the barbell. Now, in reverse order, my components go back on. So this first ring is gonna go on the inside of that indent. The 2 half pieces are then gonna clamp inside that indent, and you're gonna have to kind of hold those together so they don't fall. Next is the 2 components. Now remember, the narrow ring, the really thin ring, faces in. So that one goes in just like this. So all your components sit just like this. Now I'm gonna kind of hold those together, and I'm gonna slide the collar back over top of them. And I want you to look here. It's important that you slide those smoothly so that the groove for the interior snap ring is visible. So interior snap ring is just gonna slide right in, and then I'll give it a little bit of a spin to make sure it gets where it's going. And then just observe, make sure that it's in the groove all the way around, looks good. Now is the bar coin. And that one, sometimes you have to be a little bit gentle so it doesn't get stuck. It's gotta just fit straight back through. And then the exterior snap ring. And then make sure that it fits in that groove. Make sure it's not sticking out. You'll know it when you see it. Looks good. Boom. Done.